Welcome to your class for the week, which is called Mind Your Hips. So just like the name says, we're going to really do some work around hips and increasing mobility through your hips, as well as strengthening the muscles around the hip joint. So especially if you're doing a lot of sitting at the moment, this is going to be a great class for you. Or if you're just really trying to work on getting some glute strength, you'll find this is also right up your alley. So the first exercise we're going to start with, I'm actually going to use the foam roller. But you don't need to have a foam roller at home. You could use a towel. So I've just shown you here how you can use the towel. You would just roll it up, even if you can get the thickest towel possible, or put two towels together. The thicker that it is, and the more it looks like a foam roller, the better. So yeah, you don't have to have a foam roller. And even if you have a half roller or a shorter version of the foam roller, that's completely fine as well. So what we'll do is we'll start lying on our backs. You'll come down, place this foam roller underneath your pelvis. Beautiful. Just get it nice and comfortable. You really want it right in the sacrum, which is that flattest part of your lower back. Once you're there, what we're going to do is just draw your right knee towards your chest and feel that as you draw it in, you can really create that beautiful length through the front of the left hip. The more you can draw your right leg towards the chest, the more you'll come into a little bit of flattening through the low back, which will help to open up this hip even more. But it will also help to just get a little bit of movement through the front of the right hip here. So you're just going to hold. You're going to take a few more breaths. Really feel your breath into the front of that left hip. And as you breathe out, feel your left leg just get that little bit heavier each time you use the breath out. And one more breath here. And then we'll switch to the other side. So you're going to pull that left leg in, hug the left knee to your chest as you extend your right leg. And the same thing, feel that right heel of the foot just feel nice and heavy to the floor. Let it completely relax. See if you can draw your left knee right in towards your chest. And obviously your pelvis will be a little bit lower if you are on the towel, but that's completely fine. One more breath here. And then let's bring both legs up to tabletop position. You might find you have to rearrange your foam roller a little bit, which is fine. So from tabletop, hands are rested, tummy's nice and connected, and on your breath out, you're going to tap the foot down towards the floor and breathe in to lift it up. Breathe out to tap the right and breathe in to bring it back up. So you're going to go from one side to the other, really feeling that you've still got your connection through the abdominals as you tap, and the position of your low back doesn't change. You might feel that going right down to the floor is too much, and you might even just stop about halfway down. When you're ready, we're going to start to speed it up. So as you lift your right leg, your left will lower, and we will switch and switch and switch. So we're just going into a little bit of marching, breath in and out, in, out, and 4 more, 3, 2, 1. Meeting back at tabletop, and let's go into leg extension. So it's a breath out to extend, in to bend, out to extend, in to bend. So this is just a little bit more challenging. If it feels like it's too much for you, you can always go back to the leg taps. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to speed this one up a little bit more. So we're switching back and forth for 4, 3, 2, 1, and meeting back at tabletop again. This time, let's take the legs up to the ceiling. Toes are going to be pointed, nice and long through the hamstrings, and we're going to lower one leg down using your breath out, lifting it back up with the breath in, and then breath out to lower the other. Beautiful. So as you lower, aim to get your foot in line with your torso, so about there. Really feel that idea that your hip has lengthened right open. Beautiful. Now you can go on to the next variation, which is a double leg lower. So we're going to take both legs down, and you can choose how low you're going to go with this movement. You might only move a few inches down before you start to feel your low back lose its position and therefore come back up from there. Or you might feel that you can go right the way down to the point where your legs are in line with your torso. Beautiful. So it's a breath out to lower, in to lift. Okay, now when you're ready, we're going to add some little circles. So we're going to go down, out to the sides, open up around, back together at the top. So you're just working through the range you're comfortable with. You might not go too low, you might not go too wide. You might feel that this feels great and you want to go nice and wide and nice and low. Feel that when you go out, you get a little bit of a turn out from the leg. This is the last circle. And then we change direction. We go out, down, around, and then come back up. The breath out to go down and around, breath in to the top. Last one. Beautiful. And then we're just going to finish with a little scissor kick. So you're taking one leg down, and as it comes up, the opposite goes down. So we switch and switch, nice and quick. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back in from there. Good work. So we should feel nice and warmed up through the abdominals and feel like our hips have done a little bit of movement. So if you pop your feet down, take that roller out from there, just pop it off to the side. And we're going to come into a side lying position. So you're going to rest your head all the way down into your arms. Have your knees bent so your heels are in line with your sit bones. And from here, we're going to go into some clams. So think about your top hip here, feeling really lengthened away from the ribs so that we're not hitching through the midline now. And then when you're ready, you're going to keep your ankles nice and relaxed and just lift that top knee and then lower down. So we use the breath out to lift, breath in to lower, breath out to lift, in to lower, and feel that really lovely turn out happening right from the back of the glute. Nice. So we should be starting to feel a little bit of connection there. Let's make this a little bit more challenging and float both of your feet up off the floor. They're just going to hang out there in space as we lift the top knee. And so as we lift and lower, we're going through a little bit more range of movement now in the hips. So therefore, you should feel like you're having to work just a little bit more. Now, if you imagine that you've just got something hiding underneath your bottom side of the waist, we want to try not to squash it. We keep slightly lifted up there. On the next one, we're going to pause here. You're going to keep your thigh bone nice and still as you extend your leg, bend the knee, and lower. So we lift, extend, bend, and lower. This feels like a little bit more of a workout for the glute. Great, and we're going to do another 2 of these. And last one. Good work. Let's swing the legs to the other side, and we're going to repeat that little clam exercise. Head rests down into the arm. Heels are in line with your sit bones. Top hand just lengthens that hip away from the ribs. And then when you're ready, we're lifting the top knee. Just making sure that we've got that nice, heavy feeling through the ankles and feet with this exercise. Imagine like they're buried in a little bit of cement, so they're just going to stay nice and heavy. When you're ready, you're going to lift both heels and feet up off the floor, and then continue with your lift there. So again, we're getting a little bit more range of movement. You might also start to feel your bottom glute doing a little bit of work now. Great. When you're ready, we're going to do 2 more, and on the second, you will hold. So we'll hold here. We keep the thigh bone still as we extend the leg, bend the knee, and lower. So lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lovely. A little bit more work for those glutes now. They should be starting to burn. We should feel like we can't do too many more. And last one here. Great. And just relax the legs down. Let's come onto all fours when you're ready. So think about how your feet are going to be hip width apart, knees under hips and hands under shoulders. Nice soft elbows, so we don't want to lock out through the arms here. What we're going to do to start with is take the left leg and extend it out long behind you, and then bring it back in, and then do the same thing on the right. Great. So we're just practicing that nice stability through the pelvis as we go from one side to the other, and also really feeling like you can connect into the back of the glute. And because we've just done our clams, I can already feel that my glutes are working with this exercise, which is great. One more on the right. And then we're going to practice a little dog kick. So you keep the same angle at the knee, that 90-degree angle, as you take your leg out and bring it back in. Switch to the other side and in. Beautiful. So we're just going to go from one side to the other, really feeling that you can get that turn out, the openness through the inner thighs, as again we connect into the glutes. So you should feel this is quite similar to a clam type of movement. This is the last one, and then we're going to bring it all together. You're going to start with your extension of the leg, pull the leg around to the side, bend the knee, and pull it back in. So we extend the leg around, bend, and in. Now make sure that when we go from here to the bent knee, the knee stays really high. It doesn't drop to the floor, and then it comes in. That's when you'll really feel the work through the glutes. And in. Great. We hold that knee nice and high as it bends, and then pull it back in. Your knee will want to drop because your glute will not want to do the work there. We're going to do one more on each side, and then we're actually going to change direction and go back the other way. So you start with your dog kick. We extend the leg, keep it straight, pull it into the midline, and come back down. Dog kick, extend, the leg stays straight, and then back in. Beautiful. Almost as if you're giving your hips a little massage with the head of the thigh bone. Really feel that fluid movement of the thigh bone circling inside the hip joint. This is the last one, and then we come back in. Good work. Okay, so we should feel nice and active through those hips now. We're actually going to grab a little stool or a chair, or you can actually use the edge of your couch. So I'll just give you a few moments to find something. I'm going to use this little stool here, but as I say, you can use the edge of the couch, you can use a dining chair. It's really up to you. I'll show you what we're going to do with it. So you're basically just going to pop your leg up here like this. If that gives you a good indication of what you need and what you're going to grab, I'll just give you a couple more seconds. And so when you're ready, what you're going to do is put the left top of the foot on your apparatus of choice. See how my thigh bones are in line with one another, so I don't have one leg further forward than the other. I'm going to put my hands on my hips just for a little bit of feedback with this exercise. And the first part of the movement, we really want to feel a fold at the front of the hip joint. So as we fold here, we send our pelvis back and then we stand back up. So it's quite easy to just lead with the bend of the knee, which is not what I want you to do. I want you to really get some movement at your hips. The more we move from the hips, the more we're going to get the hip muscles working. So if we don't have mobility there, we're not going to find our strength there. That's why it's so important to get the movement and mobility. Beautiful. Okay, so when you're ready, let's add some arms in. We're going to take the arms out in front. As you go down, then the hands will come back to the hips as we stand up. We come down and up. So obviously it does require a little bit of balance because we're in a single leg standing position. Okay, let's do 2 more here. That's 1 and 2. And then we'll pop that left foot down and take the right foot up. Great, hands on the hips as we come down. The other reason why hands on hips is a great idea, you can feel any hitching happening through the hip. So I want you to feel that your hips are nice and level from left to right, and especially your left hip isn't hitching as you go down. Great. We're going to do another 2 of these. And last one. Great. You're going to take 1 step forward with this next one. So take the right foot 1 step forward and put that left foot back on your stool. So you can see my back leg is a little bit longer now. As I come down, I want to bend both knees. It's as if you're dipping your left knee down to the floor. So we dip the left knee and then come back up. Now let's take our arms in front. We're going to add a bit of rotation. As you go down, rotate to the bent knee and then come back up. So just my right arm is moving. As I turn my head and look towards that right hand, it does throw me off balance a little bit more. So therefore I have to work my right hip muscles to keep that stability, as well as the muscles in our feet. So if you're feeling your muscles around the arch of your foot, that is great. Beautiful. We're going to do 2 more. And last one. Good work. Okay, let's switch sides. We've got the left foot in front, right foot back behind you here. And when you're ready, your hands go on your hips as we come down and up. Sometimes the first couple can feel a little bit wobbly as you're trying to find your position, find your flow. Arms can start going out in front, and we add our rotation. So as you come down, open the left arm up, look towards those left fingertips. You might even find that the rotation is too much and you just want to do the arm movement. but keep looking forward, and therefore your balance you'll find is a little bit easier. But you pick what variation is right for you. We're doing one more, and then come back up. Okay, little side lunge from here. So we're going to be standing on the right leg in a turned out position with the heel of the left foot on your apparatus, also in a turn out, which means toes are up to the ceiling. Hands can go back on the hips and really feel that your hips are nice and in line from left to right. When you're ready, as you bend your right knee, you're going to sit your bum back as your chest goes forward. Now, the lower we go, the more you'll stretch your adductor or your inner thigh. So if that's what you feel, that is completely fine. Beautiful. On the next one, we're going to pause and we're going to pulse up and down. Feel the weight of your body go back into the right heel so that your right glute really has to work here. Doing 3, 2, 1, and up. One more set of pulses for 10. 8, 7, sitting that pelvis back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, all the way up. Now you can turn and face the other side. I'm just going to turn my stool so you don't have to look at my bum as I'm doing this exercise. Okay, lovely. So when you're ready, hands on hips, feel we're square from left to right, and we come down into our side lunge position. Pelvis goes back as the chest goes forward. Remember, the lower you go, the more you'll feel the stretch here. We're thinking about finding as much mobility going down and up here before we add in a little bit more of that strength with the pulses. So you're going to hold and pulse. Try and keep your weight in your standing leg. You're really just resting this leg on the stool. 3, 2, 1, and up. One more set of 10. So we've got 8, 7, sitting that bum back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way up. Lovely, good work. We should all be feeling a little bit puffed now. We're just going to do a little exercise that's a little bit of fun, a little bit of mobility for ankles, knees, and hips. So you're going to come right down onto the mat and take one leg out long. You can see that this heel here is lifted up off the floor and I'm up on the ball of my foot. Hands are going to be in front of you, and you're actually just going to switch legs, but take your pelvis towards the straight leg. As you bend the straight leg, you straighten the bent knee. And then we switch back. Now, if you're a little bit tight, your body will want to go up and then down. But ideally, I want you to stay down as you go from side to side, which is really the challenge of the exercise. Beautiful. Now, if you want to add a little bit of stability, try not using your hands. So take your arms in front of you as you go from side to side. Whoop. A little bit like a ninja warrior. Beautiful. And one more to each side from here. And last one. Good work. Okay, so that is the end of our Mind Your Hip session today. I hope you enjoy the session, and I look forward to taking you through next week's session. So well done. Good work. Bye-bye.